Hello again, everybody. This is Craig Evans of Autism Hangout, and thank you for tuning into this installment of the Ask Dr. Tony feature program series, where everybody's favorite autism and Asperger's expert, Dr. Tony Attwood, addresses your questions. Welcome, Dr. T.
Thank you, Craig, and welcome to those who are tuning in to watch the video.
It's always one of my favorite shows to do here. So we've got 5 questions to address tonight. Shall we just jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here's the first one. My ability to talk can go down at any time of the day, and I'm left there figuring out how I'm going to communicate my needs. My frustration comes out as hitting myself. I hit my head and my arms. I want to stop doing these things. How can I better my communication skills, or what can I do, or what can I use to help me? And this is from Gabby at Autism Hangout.
Okay, Gabby, first of all, stop hitting yourself. That's going to do no good at all. It may be that your brain goes into a state of overload, shutdown, or a fuse going. That means that you can't just do anything. When that occurs, you've just got to go with it. Certainly getting more frustrated and hurting yourself in frustration is not going to improve the situation, and it's going to make recovery more elusive. What you need to do is check, are there any signals that one of these meltdowns or shutdowns is on the way? When it is, you need to say to people, excuse me, but I'm heading into overload. I need to close my eyes, take a deep breath, find a corner, go to the toilet. Sorry, you call it the restroom. Go to the restroom, close the cubicle door, close your eyes and just relax, because getting frustrated is no good for anyone.
The second question is from Ferry. Ferry says, I have an 8-year-old son with Asperger's, dyslexia, and speech and language delays. I find it hardest when he goes into meltdown and he gets violent. He can't express his feelings yet in words, and I can't get through to him at all. Tony, he's a very unique, special boy, and he means very much to me. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, when he has a meltdown, don't ask him what's the matter, because his eloquence will desert him. At that time of emotionality, he's not going to give you a coherent explanation, find the vocabulary, etc. Some just general hints when he goes into meltdown. First of all, as much as you can, you must remain calm. And if you can, say to him, I'm not upset with you, angry with you, or disappointed. I'm just going to help you relax. Now, what you may then do is just primarily focus on, look, something's upsetting you, we don't know what it is. If you're calm, you're smart. Just calm down, take a deep breath, and you may go through with him pleasant scenes, compliments of what he's done, things that he's looking forward to that he's not missing out on because of his behavior. Basically, you need to get that emotion back on an even keel. Then he's going to listen, then he'll be able to explain, then he'll try suggestions of dealing with it. So the first thing you've got to do in those meltdowns is don't ask him what's the matter. He doesn't need to speak. All you've got to do is say, let's work together on calming you down. He needs to develop a vocabulary to describe his feelings. That's why we developed what's called the CAT kit, Cognitive Affective Training, available in the USA from Future Horizons, which gives a thermometer and a toolbox and a range of strategies for those who lack eloquence in describing their feelings. So afterwards, when he's had the meltdown, say, okay, we need to learn from this. In your thermometer, how strong was the feeling from 0 to 10? You have a book that includes pictures or descriptions of all the things that agitate him. So we can just go through the book and point to what it is that was causing him a problem, and then go through another book of repair strategies, or the toolbox, of how to get him to feel better and deal with the situation.
Excellent.
Okay.
The next question comes from Australia. It says, hi, Dr. Tony. I'm a special needs support teacher at a school in Australia. We have a large cohort of students with ASD. Over the past few years, we've set up a room that students can access at break times if they so choose. There's a growing concern in our school that children are accessing the room every break time, and that it's a bigger concern that they're playing on the computers for each break. There are calls for the room to be timetabled for kids. My gut tells me to fight this, because what I see are kids who feel safe, who are making friends, albeit through a common interest in a computer game, but most of the kids will sit with others and take turns to play. I see this as an achievement rather than a concern, but I'd like to get some feedback and some thoughts from you in this matter. And this is from Fiona at Autism Hangout.
Okay, Fiona, you're absolutely right. I totally endorse what you say. Now, The playground for other kids is noisy, chaotic, sociable, unstructured, unsupervised, heaven. They can run around and socialise and shout. It is hell for every one of those reasons. Also, in that environment are the predators, the bullies, those who will tease you and torment you. What they've got is a safe sanctuary. The point of having break time is it should be, or recess, a break. It should be relaxing. It's enjoyable. As far as these guys are concerned, what's enjoyable is being on the computer. And as long as they're playing appropriate games and activities, and if they're interacting with each other, whatever calms them down, it lowers the heart rate. If they like being there, they should be there. It's like being on the ocean, in a life raft, and sharks all around. And the teachers who want to get rid of this life raft, you say, well, out in the water, go on, out you go, out in the sharks, yep, they've bitten your leg off, you've got another leg, you can hobble around, don't worry, you will survive, you will enjoy being eaten by sharks. Okay?
Okay. I love your analogy. I think it's your Australian accent makes it a bit more interesting too. Next question. My husband and I have always arranged to be with our 9-year-old Aspie son anywhere he goes, school being an exception. I have seen our role, besides protector, as a type of facilitator. Now my friends think this isn't good, but our son is not successful in social situations on his own. Our son is very comfortable with one of us being there. Is this detrimental to his development in a way that we're not seeing? Please advise. And thank you for all you do for our wonderful Aspies. This is from Rock Jericho at Autism Hangout.
Okay, keep doing it. I think what you do is you ask your son to decide. And you say, would you like me there? And if he says, yes, please, you go. What you do over time is gradually pull back. And you're just there. Sometimes you may be just reading a magazine, chatting to other people. I think you're a security blanket to reduce his anxiety. If he's tense and insecure, he won't be able to focus on the social element of what he's doing. You are a life raft for him. You are a support. If he wants you there, you should be there.
How can we educate educators to understand that autism is not something they can remove from the fabric of a child?
What I would like such individuals is to imagine being autistic for a day, and to go through the experiences from sensory sensitivity right through to being bullied and teased. Some educators get it, and sometimes they are either very empathic individuals that really do understand ASD, or, strangely, they've had a relative with ASD that may or may not have been diagnosed. So some just get it. The trouble is those who don't actually make the life of a person with ASD far worse and actually contaminate them, because they feel that my teacher doesn't understand, what hope have I got? And then other kids see that as a green light to torment and tease because the teacher's not fully understanding. Now, to a certain extent, we can educate in terms of courses and material. Some will get it, some it will fall on deaf ears. And we really have to try and avoid such individuals. So we carefully select who the teachers are at all levels to make sure they create an ASD-friendly environment.
Will mainstream schools ever work for our special kids?
For some, yes. Others, it's a disaster. For some kids, especially those with classic autism, if I were designing the worst environment in which to learn, it would be a classroom with lots of noisy, chaotic, socializing kids with a curriculum that really is not presented in your style. And you can't get away from them. And so for some, it's hell. For others, it is successful. And usually it's because they've got a fairly accommodating personality. They will tolerate situations rather than react against or internalize it. They have good teachers who understand, a peer group that support them, flexibility in the curriculum, and support for the teacher in terms of understanding about autism. So yes, it can work, but the resources put into it are usually beyond what is available for most schools.
Dr. Tony, that's all our questions for this segment, so I thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to come on board here through Skype and answer questions from people with Autism Hangout.
Okay, thanks, Craig. I think there have been some excellent questions, and I'm delighted to be able to have an opportunity to give my opinion.
Well, I'm sure they're delighted to hear your opinion, so people at Autism Hangout, I'll be back again soon with another installment, and thank you, Dr. Tony. I hope to see you again soon.
Okay, thanks, Craig.